E aí pessoal, tudo bem? Mark Snow de novo aqui com vocês. Hoje eu vou estar fazendo um vídeo aí, entrevista de um guitarrista que toca muito, né? O cara é novo, né? Jovem, né? Tem um canal aí há algum tempo e já tem muita gente que estava falando para mim, Mark, entrevista esse cara, né? Chama ele, né? Dá um toque nele, não sei o quê, que é o Cameron Cooper. E pô, toca absurdos, cara. Tem uma pegada muito legal, o cara, pô. Tem uma coleção grande aí de Charvels, né, entre outras guitarras, mas o que ele, né, tem me dito aí, o que ele mais gosta são as Charvels. E, cara, o que me chamou a atenção é que o cara também, como eu, curte muito o Steel Panther, né, pô, já tocou no palco com os caras acho que 2 vezes, e acabei, né, entrando em contato com ele, ele falou, pô, Mark, vamos embora fazer, cara, vamos ver aí o que acontece, né, responder aí as perguntas aí que você tá me fazendo e dar a entrada aí para os meus fãs brasileiros. Então, vamos ver como é que ficou a entrevista? Como a guitarra entrou na sua vida?
Hola, it's Cam. Thanks very much for having me here. My first question is, how did the guitar come into my life? And it starts off rather simply. When I was probably around 4 years old, I remember being sat on the living room floor. My dad was playing a Music Man Axis through a multi-effects unit. He had headphones in, and I was watching him play, just strum some chords and play some ideas. He might have been playing Panama or something by Van Halen, you know, and so on. I really loved the sound of that, and eventually I asked him if I could have the headphones, and he started to play some things, and I thought, I want to do that. Anyway, to cut a long story short, he bought me a Squier Mini Strat, in which he sat me down, showed me my first chords. And once I got them right, I was off, you know, I was learning things like your AC/DCs and stuff like that. That's what got me going in the first place.
Quais os guitarristas que te influenciaram para tocar guitarra?
Because a lot of my music was influenced by what was being played in the car. And my first Ozzy Osbourne riff was Bark at the Moon, hence why I love Jake E. Lee. Of course, Crazy Train as well. But another huge thing for me was obviously Van Halen, and that's what really got this hand to work for me. And my first Van Halen piece, if you like, I learned was not Eruption, it was actually Hot for Teacher. That was my biggest influences, and then as it stemmed on and my taste got a little bit more eclectic in the rock community, I started to learn everyone sort of under the umbrella of Van Halen. So it was your likes of Steve Vai, Paul Gilbert, Jason Becker in some small doses. Then you had other figures who would pass by, like Yngwie Malmsteen and stuff like that. And that's more or less it, really, where you have it. There's loads and loads of people who influenced me. I could be here all day.
E quais bandas você mais tocou até hoje?
So which bands have I played up until today? I would say it stems from the last question. Once Eddie Van Halen and Ozzy Osbourne's guitar showed up, I learned everything underneath them. And my biggest influences that stem from that is Satchel from Steel Panther and Gus G. And just their playing styles was the type of guitar playing I could hear in my head when I was starting to get more advanced. Like, that was what my goal was. I could hear it in my head, and then eventually when they appeared, it was like, huh, what I want is out there. And I started to listen to it all, and then when I really got into the guitar, I was a lot obsessed with learning certain Steel Panther riffs, whether it be then another big one for me was also love stuff like that, and also a lot of the Gus G renditions of Ozzy Osbourne tunes and different licks that he would use. For example, a huge thing for me was things like this. The licks like that were very big on me as well. So those were the bands that I've played probably the most leading up till now, because it was just the style I was going for when I was younger.
Em qual banda famosa você gostaria de tocar e por quê?
Which famous band would I play in if I could choose? It would probably be Ozzy Osbourne. It's just my kind of music. It's got the mixture of the quiet stuff, whether it be that kind of idea. It's got all of the nice stuff, but also it's got the really crazy sort of pounding rock riffs too. I mean, who doesn't love your... and so on. It's just everything for me. That I absolutely love that stuff. So yeah, it'd probably be Ozzy Osbourne.
Como surgiu a ideia para você criar o seu canal no YouTube?
This is where my sort of style takes a bit of a left turn, really. I first had that sort of epiphany moment where I thought I could actually do this, was actually watching a gamer called KSI, very mega world famous guy, and that showed me that it was possible. But in terms of guitar playing videos and its style, it was probably Guitar World magazine. One of my unsung heroes is Paul Riario. And that's honestly how I found Charvel guitars too. It was from a review he did of the release of the USA models a while back. I mean, we're talking a mega while back. It was probably about 10 years ago, something like that. That's where it started to flicker in my mind, something that I could potentially do. And what really sealed the deal was those two blokes, KSI, the gamer, and Paul Riario from Guitar World magazine.
Você tem uma coleção fantástica de Charvels, né? E o que se acha de mais interessante? O que mais chama atenção nessa guitarra?
Well, for me, they're what I like. It's dead simple. You know, I mean, I love the neck profile. Just the way they feel is just perfect for me. I've never needed to go and try anything else, to be quite honest with you. I love as well how they have a lot of traditional aspects, but mainly the classy elements. That means that your guitar looks really cool for a long time. But also its little modern features, like for example on this DK24 here, you've got all the modern cutaways on the back and to make it super accessible. And just the general look, I think they really suit me. But also you have loads of different sonic options available to you. Like for example this one has obviously got a mahogany body with the Seymour Duncans, and you've got the Floyd Rose here for all those 80s dive bombs and stuff, which is really fun to do. But also you get other types, which I'll get for you now. There's also this one, which is called Old Yeller. It's a current model, which I think is really cool. It's got an ash body, it's got all different kinds of looks, very, very distinctive, and it just feels fantastic to play. So you've got that one there, offers a completely different sound to anything else I've ever played. Also, if you're more into 80s stuff, you've got this Vivian Campbell lookalike, which is really cool, with a single pickup. And you also get guitars like this. If you're into your prog metal and stuff like that, this guitar's got the Fishman Fluences in to get that more modern sound. And I really, really like this. This is the SoCal style too. So they've got so many different styles and things that suit a lot of different people. And that's probably why I love them so much. There's something in a Charvel for everybody, which is what I like.
Você ensina muito nos seus vídeos, né? E eu queria saber se você realmente se considera um professor de guitarra.
I probably would consider myself a guitar teacher. Whenever I'm not creating music videos for the channel, or if I'm writing original music, I am teaching Skype lessons. I've taught over 300 people worldwide and it's still growing. I've got students based in Peru, but I don't have any in Brazil. So if anyone wants to place a booking with me, please get in touch. If you need any contact details, go through Mark or go through my YouTube channel. But yeah, I do consider myself a guitar teacher. I absolutely love to do it. And in a way, because I'm a self-taught player and I've discovered a lot of things for myself, despite living in a world of YouTube and loads of online tutorials, I didn't really use them. I preferred sitting down and listening to songs and picking other things, and that way I've developed some of my own concepts that I really love sharing with people. And they've proved very effective, so if anyone wants to book a lesson with me, you know what to do. I really appreciate anyone who stops by, and it's definitely one of the most rewarding parts of playing the guitar for me. So yeah, I do consider myself a teacher in many ways.
Você é um guitarrista jovem, mas fala muito aí dos Guitar Heroes, né, dos guitarristas clássicos. Você acha que ainda hoje surgem Guitar Heroes?
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. They just come in different forms because the guitar has evolved so much as an instrument. If you like, although it's not appreciated as technical, your players out there like your Ed Sheerans, for example, who can turn a hit out of just some chords with a guitar, I'd consider that Guitar Hero status in many ways, because you've empowered those chords and turned them into a story of some kind. But then on the flip side, if you look into the more technical side of what people know me for example, there are players out there such as Angel Vivaldi, who, again, a fellow Charvel brother of mine, but also he plays a lot of music that represents almost like the futuristic side of playing guitar. Pliny as well, he's another guitarist who's like that, an Australian guy, and he nails they represent the future of what it's about, I think. And although the sort of 80s style isn't as much appreciated as it was, bands like Steel Panther are bringing it back. So it's got that, it's not quite the same, there's just a more modern twist to it, and I think these players are guitar heroes in their own right. I could 100% agree with that.
Qual conselho que você daria para guitarrista que está começando hoje?
The advice I'd give to a young guitarist today, or any guitarist starting out, doesn't matter how old you are, is be fearless. Start by learning the things that excite you, and whether it's chucking yourself in at the deep end or not. Never feel you have to conform to a standard, like you have to learn this first or something like that. Go for what excites you and what ensures you will never put down the guitar. And also, if you're genuinely passionate about it and really want to go for it, time will just disappear, if you like. When I'm really into the guitar, and even back then when I was practicing for probably 8 hours a day, I was not thinking about time, it was just drifting by, but I was keenly aware of every second about getting better. And if you ever hit a plateau where you think, I'm never going to get any better, the more you carry on doing it, something happens. It's nature's little way of saying either take a break or look for something else. Whether it be a new kind of music or the band that your mates tell you to check out, which you never seem to have the time to do, go and check it out. And it will bring you a new variety of music, a new source of inspiration. It will rekindle the flame again, and then you're back into it. So the trick is to keep practicing, never stop, but stay excited. And another thing as well, I'm aiming this mainly at younger guitarists, but never feel you have to play expensive gear. All of the guitars that I pretty much played before I started to get into the YouTube channel and everything else were bought cheap second hand. And for years I played on a Squier Mini Strat. For a long time I played a Squier Mini Strat. So the tone is mainly in your hands. Okay, if you can do well with your hands, you can make any guitar sound good. Doesn't matter how expensive it is. So, yeah, there we go.
Fala pouco aí pra gente sobre o básico aí do seu equipamento.
To tell you about my basic equipment, it's really simple, you know. I mean, if it's a Charvel guitar, I'm happy, but then I plug into a Yamaha THR-32 for everything that you hear now. I was a big user of the THR-10X for a long time, and I still use it occasionally, but I've gone up to the THR-32 now, and I love that thing. And a lot of people think I'm playing through some big valve head or some kind of stack. I don't. If I'm playing anything louder, I usually go for the 5150, an EVH 5150, but then again, that's very loud for home use, so not the most convenient amp in the world. Whenever I need to plug in any pedals, I use pedals from Crazy Tube Circuit, so it'll be things like the Splash Reverb, the Time Delay, the Ziggy Drive, or maybe even the Blackmagic if I want to get super heavy. But I'm also a big fan of the Marshall Origin series. I use a Marshall Origin 20-watt combo, and that gets used all the time if I'm not playing through the THR-30. And that thing just sounds, it's just incredible, you know, a really good tube combo. And it's definitely my go-to tube amp at the moment in terms of everything that I need for my YouTube channel and everything else I do musically. If it's not the THR-30, it's a Marshall Origin 20. Yeah, that's my basic line of equipment. Then all that varies is which Charvel guitar I'm using, to be honest with you.
Então, Cameron, muito obrigado por você ter concordado em fazer a entrevista. Deixa aí suas considerações finais. Tamo junto, guitarristas do bem.
So, thanks so much, Mark. I really appreciate you having me on here, and I just wanted to say a last little thank you. And tamo junto, guitarristas do bem. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.